So much to talk about today. Don't even know where to start. I don't. I got up today earlier than like 4-ish, and I'm going through this stuff, and my head is just spinning. Mrs. Ellen and I were watching early morning, kind of a review of the John Benet Ramsey case, which reminds me of what's going on right now involving New York. How immediately the Trump political machine is blowing it. And nobody wants to hear it because everybody's into the, hey, do you want to go to the inauguration? It's like, schmuck, it hasn't even been a month. And already he's doing, this is driving me crazy. This glare. This is George Jones. This is hang on a minute. There we go. That was driving me nuts. Anyway, hasn't even been a month yet. And already they're screwing everything up. And the acolytes, the Trump fans are saying, well, I mean, it's okay. No. You're not paying attention. Again, it's this idea that we love him. He's wonderful. Like, okay, great. But that's not going to help. What's going on here? That's not going to help matters. This is something which we're going to talk about that. Daniel Penny, the latest, some really interesting stuff regarding what's going on in terms of the shooting and everything. Oh, it's so, I mean, I don't even know. There's just so much to discuss. But understand, before we begin, we have to remove our preconceived loves and who we love, and everybody's in love, and he's a great guy, and MAGA this. And I have not been. I have told you from the beginning, there is nobody who is happier than what has happened, specifically the election. But what I'm doing is, and I'm running into yet again a number of people who just are into this world of I don't know what. So anyway, get ready. This is not for the squeamish. Remember, this is not the fan club. If you want to listen to the fan club, listen to Fox News or something. I'm not a fan club. We look at what's happening because I want to win. This is my country. This is my future. This is our republic. And this is not let's kiss everybody's ass and say the things that are terrific, because I don't work like that. You got it? All right. Now sit tight. Remind you that please make sure you are subscribed to Lionel Nation. Make sure you are subscribed to Lens Warriors as well, and to Lionel Legal, because 87% of the people who watch us do not subscribe. But first, this most important word. Have you ever wondered what happened to the legendary Chuck Norris? I recently saw a video he made, and I was shocked. He's in his 80s and still kicking proverbial butt and working out and staying active. And what's even more shocking is he's stronger, can work out longer, and even has plenty of energy left for his grandkids. Now, he did this by just making one change. He says he still feels like he's in his 50s, and his wife even started doing the one thing too, and she's never felt better. She says she feels 10 years younger. Her body looks leaner, and she has energy all day. Chuck made a special video that explains everything. And make sure you watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/Lionel, or by clicking on the link below this video. It will change the way you think about your health. And once again, that's chuckdefense.com/Lionel. Click on the link in the description below to watch the video now. And you won't believe how simple it is. And just a reminder, the legendary Chuck Norris is a whopping 84 years old and yet has more energy than he ever has. He discovered he could create dramatic changes to his health simply focusing on 3 things that sabotage our body as we age. Watch his method by clicking the link in the description box below at chuckdefense.com/Lionel. Okay, my friends, let's start off with a few things. First and foremost, this is just fun because I love to see people who don't know what they're talking about get crushed. And you're going to be seeing this in this. A lot's going to come out now, believe it or not, regarding this prosecutrix regarding Daniel Penny, who was just absolutely out of her tree. And the great sleuths and people who do the investigation have investigated it, please go to my YouTube, my X or whatever channel or whatever it is, that Lionel Media. There's an article on this. In fact, I'll read it to you. It is so terrific. It says it all. And this is absolutely perfect. I could not have said it better myself. It says, Daniel Penny's psycho lesbian prosecutor has a crazy wife who just locked down social media. You've got to read who these people are. You've got to understand this. You've got to grasp, which leads us to this first story. But you have to sit back, and we're not talking about just pointing names and laughing and ha ha ha. No, seriously, really, honestly, looking at this, because we are seeing things that are just very, 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 very odd. But in any event, this is the woman. You're going to love this. Speaking of which, this is a woman by the name of, her name is Tanya Fernandez Anderson. Okay. This was a woman who I believe is a Muslim. What is her story? We'll get to this. She's a real firebrand, a Muslim. And in any event, this is the Boston City Councilor. She was arrested by the FBI. In 2022, she was defending her friend, Ricardo Arroyo, who was running for DA, who apparently had some problems. But you might have remembered this particular moment where she lost her mind because she thought, hey, this is great. I'm being an activist. I'm speaking my mind. Remember this one?
People are calling me and telling me, don't say anything. Stay in your lane. Be quiet. Sit down. You will lose your seat. They won't vote for you. Fight. Don't fight. What the fuck do I have to do in this fucking council in order to get respect as a black woman? And I'm going to tell you, I'm not afraid of losing the votes. Okay. I'm not afraid of the seat. I'm not afraid of anybody here.
This is great. This is the woman. Well, let me tell you what happened to her. In case you missed it, just as a recap, just to remind you of this. This is such a fantastic story because it goes to show you. This is the Boston City Councilor who was arrested by FBI Friday morning, after she was indicted in an alleged kickback scheme that netted her thousands of dollars in cash from a staffer in exchange for a large bonus. Tanya Fernandez Anderson, 45 years old, represents District 7 in Boston. And she pleaded not guilty, of course, and was arrested. She was outside her Dorchester home. They came about 6 a.m. According to court documents, she faces 5 federal counts of wire fraud and 1 federal count of theft concerning programs receiving federal funds. So she went on, and anyway, make a long story short, it's kickbacks and the like, but she was the first loud, screaming, not the first, but she's known for being this loud and battled. And there is a phrase which is so critical, ladies and gentlemen. I know this may sound a bit, full of, just to keep it clean on a Saturday morning. This is what we are, our biggest problem in this country. People who are just full of it. People who really don't know what's going on. People who are full of it. These are and they have to be called out. And the best part about it is that because there is apparently such a dearth, a paucity, such a de minimis amount of people who are involved in what's going on, that this is the only thing that you need, or the only thing that they have. So they get up there and they scream and they yell. And if they wear a hat, or if they're a Muslim or whatever it is, in some circles, I guarantee you're going to see somebody, if you had somebody in a full Indian headdress. And the thing is, it's not that there's anything bogus or phony about people who are themselves Muslims, but it's this phony baloney, kind of like the Ilhan Omar. Not that she's not a Muslim, but she's a phony. She's a political phony. who uses this as the veneer, as this bulletproof piece. Don't talk about me. I'm a black woman. I've got this hat on. Hey, don't talk. That kind of thing. Now, let's move on to something which is, I don't even know how to tell you this. I heard something and I read something and I cannot believe it. I cannot believe. Did you see the president has appeared on Meet the Press? Did you see this? Now, let me ask you right now, and this is where you can tell who knows what they're doing and who doesn't. How many people think less than at 1 month after being elected, when we're still figuring out some of these House seats and they're still finagling this, I think there's still a majority, but it's with all that's going on, and Bobby Kennedy coming up in Tulsi Gabbard and this and the Doge and all of this stuff. How many right here, answer my question, think it's a good idea for President Trump to go on Meet the Press now? Please help me. Anybody? Anybody think it's a good idea? Right? Anybody think it's a good idea? Come on. It's great. He's great. MAGA, right? Anybody think it's a good idea now? Right now. Less than a month or about a month. You've got all these people. Why is he doing this? Why is he doing this? Who is advising him? Maybe Barron? Maybe Barron can be advising him. Look, I've got nothing against the kid. I don't even know him. I'm sure he's a great guy, okay? But let me ask you something. Would you please stop with this nonsense that he's 18 years old and he's advising the president? Would you stop this? It's embarrassing. I've got nothing against him. I'm sure he's great. 18 years old. But there's this, even Melania, and we're, okay, fine. All right. Because everybody's saying this. You tell him that he was the one who said, go on Joe Rogan. It's like, would you, first of all, if you're going to give a fib, do better than this. Why in the name of God is he going on Meet the Press now? This is the most stupid thing I've ever seen. What is he doing? And nobody seems to want to address this because they're going to blow it again. And I don't understand. I'm not going to go through this bullshit again. I'm sorry. I went through this. Let me remind everybody. He won and Biden lost. If you think that the margins would have been the same had he had a real candidate, had he had Gavin Newsom, even despite Joe Rogan and everything else, it would not have been the same. No way. It might have been still big. Trump worked his ass off. There's no doubt about that. And he got people, and they're doing the dance. And instead of just enjoying this crest, did you read where Rachel Maddow was in a screaming match with Meager Brzezinski over a meeting, which I'm screaming? The left, in the incarnation of such, even under their media, they're going crazy. Sit back. Raul says Trump will lose his thunder. You're right. You see, this is the part I don't understand. This is what I told you about. I ask people, do you think Pete Hegseth, what is going on here? I don't understand this. And then there's this sniping between these people like Greg Kelly. I don't even watch this. Was he promised something? Did he want to be the DOD head? What? Trump is living in the 50s. Meet the Press. You just destroyed your opponent, who also collapsed simultaneously, okay? But it's like me laying the charges to bring down a building, but the building is 200 years old, made of wood. So yeah, I set the charges. but it really was easy. I mean, there wasn't even any concrete involved. It was wood. So yes, I won, but I didn't have much of an opponent. What is he going on Meet the Press for? He wants to cut. Who is advising him? You want to strangle these people. You want mainstream media, dinosaur legacy media to go away. And now they're going to stop. They're going to take what he's doing and they're going to chop it up and they're going to create the momentum, not from Meet the Press, but the momentum in social media, because he's going to say something invariably that's construed as stupid. Sit back. Number two, why are you announcing all of these things to people now? I would have said, remember what I wanted to do. I want to be his advisor. I want to be a combination between Lee Atwater, the old Roger Stone, Donald Segretti, James Bond, B.F. Skinner, Freud, Bernays, Gustave Le Bon. I want to be everybody rolled up into one. I want to be in an undisclosed location. I don't want to step foot near that White House. And I'm going to sit there and say, I call the shots. Who's the genius who said go under? I want them fired. I want them fired. You're on Meet the Press? What's the matter with you? Number two, I want to find out, when is the latest that you can announce your picks? When? Give me that. January 1? Give me the latest day when you can announce all of them. I mean all of them. Bobby Kennedy, Tulsi Gabbard, even Seb Gorka, who's going to remember, mark my words. Remember when I told you years ago about Matt Gaetz? Remember that? Remember how long ago I tell you, Matt Gaetz. Remember that one? I told you, I said, be careful. You have no idea what's going on here. He's important in the MAGA world. He's important in the sphere, in the biosphere, in the ecosystem, whatever you want to call it, but not as Attorney General. And they're confusing him. They're thinking he's great. He was probably the greatest MAGA. This guy's brain, his cross-examination. You want to craft something he's great at, not Attorney General. But nobody listened to me. So anyway, basically, Trump basically ignored him. And Matt's walking around now, and his wife is so stupid that she's putting these pictures of them because she has to show, look, we're in the Dominican Republic, wherever it is, and it looks like he's this lonely guy collecting his thoughts, licking his wounds after the biggest upset, because these people are morons. Because they don't say, here, let me look at this. What do you think of this? Nope, not that picture. Right. Wrong image. No, what are you doing? It looks like he's out and he had to get away, and you and he are, because she had to say, because I think she's got the money. Oh, look, a playa de Santa Rosa is beautiful. And and he's always by himself, kind of standing there looking. The image is like he's lost, he's bereft, he is devoid of whatever. I don't understand it. Image. John Kennedy never wore a hat. Ronald Reagan never took his jacket off inside the Oval Office. I mean, they're always into image. So he's doing this. Hegseth, I don't know what's that about. Then he goes on Megyn Kelly to beg for whatever. Has his mother on. His mother. He's DOD. This is the Department of Defense. I'm going to be the secretary. And you have mommy, who basically is being asked, would you please retract your poison pen email, whatever the hell you sent? What is this? Don't you understand who these people are? Watch this. Oh, let me give you the name of this new guy. You're going to love this one. I watched this. Oh, look at this. This is great. Thank you for this. Scott Pressler. That's the guy. He's looking to setting his sights on New Jersey. Scott Pressler is the guy. Gay, this smart as a whip. He is in my group. What about Edison? Uh-huh. Yeah, Edison, New Jersey. There's also a big, this guy, let me tell you something. Phil Murphy, we're going to get to what's going on because I want you to really listen here, and I want you to step back, and I want you to leave, and I want to get all this Fox News, MAGA, yay, CPAC. We're number one. Hey, Fox News, Fox Nation. Let's have our awards to promote Fox. I never understood it. Hey, no, it's the patriot of the for Fox. Listen, do me a favor. You go and do this. Have a wonderful time. I want to make sure we win and continue to win. And this is just to appease you. Do you think the people who are in the barbershops, do you think the Amish, do you think gays who flip, do you think black folks who all of a sudden wear the MAGA are now tuning back into, Trump's getting back into his old ways again? Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no, no, no. But anyway, so I would find out what is the day, what is the last day, and I want to hit them with about 50 appointments. And they say, what? Names and this, Hexeth, and this, and Gates, and boom, 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 and Bobby Kennedy, and Tulsi Gabbard. Overwhelm them. Have them sift through it. And never, ever, 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 ever go on Meet the Press. Never, never. This is the enemy. You're under no obligation. You go to social media, you go to X, whatever it is. Ask Elon. Ask Elon what he thinks about this. Did Elon approve this? No, this is Trump going back into that old kind of that thing. This is when Trump says, Trump kind of likes this Hexeth guy because he thinks he's, some handsome warrior type. I don't know. Trump's got this thing about the way people look and I'm sorry. I hate to tell you this, but he's got this thing, and it's something that we're never going to be able to stop. It's one of his shortcomings. But he doesn't know how to think outside the box. But anyway, that's okay. I'll love him. I'll take him anyway. I want to read you. Let me before I forget. My head's going crazy here. Okay. There is a guy I want you to watch, this new one. Oh, okay. His name is John McPhee. John McPhee. McPhee. Delta Force. I don't know the first thing about him, but this guy, if you told me, comes across to me as so full of blarney, and it doesn't matter because a lot of these guys, Sean Ryan, yeah, but this, I was the Delta, I was the sheriff of Baghdad, and I got the bodies. Okay, fine. What are we doing? These are the people. These are the Michael Franzese, the Sammy the Bulls, the I don't know where A-Light is. There were people. Let me back up. There were people who all of a sudden said, "Well, we were in the mob," and mobsters, all guys in the mob, always. They're like carnies. They're always in the mob. And they never forget the fact that they were in the mob. Ever. They always think this 24/7. They think about how to do this. So when they got out, Sammy the Bull was really the first guy to come along with this. I'm going to do podcasting, and he's an incredible natural storyteller. He really is. And sense of detail you can't believe. So he came along, and this guy, Michael Franzese, came out. Now, Franzese is, as God bless him, big as phony. He says his father's Sonny. He's not. It doesn't really matter, but he's smart. made more money with the gas tax thing, or whatever, did time. But he parlayed this. He's the gentleman gangster. The gentleman. Oh, and before that, he was born again and he found Jesus. Okay, fine. Listen, it's all a work. Write this down, everybody. Life is a work. This is professional wrestling 101. It's all a work. It's an angle. It's a story. You are the Samoan, whatever. You're a Nazi German. You were the von Brauners. You were Baron von Raschke. You're Bobby the Brain. You're this and that. This is your thing, and you were on it 100%, 24/7. You never let up. The heel never, ever, ever lets up. Before Bobby the Brain was Mr. Whatever, we were here in New York years ago. And there was a people, he was not exactly the kindest person in the world. He says, I'm a heel 24/7. He was old school. So Franzese is this heel. He is the mobster, but Sammy the Bull, legit, really legit, really. He's a gangster. And remember, all these people, every single one of them are liars, thieves, and crooks. And they will do anything. They're a thief. And I say that with all due respect. Now, why do I say this? You've got this group here. Before that, in professional wrestling, you had people who did the shoot series. A shoot, as you know, in wrestling is key as or it's lingo for a real fight, a real thing. Where they would come back and say, what about Vince? What about that? What about the Warrior? Okay, so you got the wrestlers here, and then you have the gangsters here, and then you have the warriors. And there are so many people full of shite who are saying, this is fantastic. Do you know how many people you did? How many hits? What do you mean? We got 1 million hits. Really? You should do it again. Oh, I'll give them some stuff. Can you amp it up? Oh, yeah. When I was Delta Force, I was SEAL Team 6. We went into Baghdad, and I was in Tora Bora. How's that? You got up it up? Okay. And then we did. Now, I'm not saying it's not true, but it's embellished. It's a work. And this McPhee guy is the best. Full of it. The Tate brothers, full of it. I'm telling you, but it's an act. Matt Gaetz to an extent. It's a work. Okay. Back to McPhee. These people, I would sit there and say, Mr. President, I want you to watch this. All these big, huge schlonged, testosterone, meat-eating, warrior type. This is who they are. This is who runs the Department of Defense. Not Lloyd Austin, not even Milley. This is the guy you want. Pete Hegseth was on Fox News weekends for 9 years? I know what he did. Do you know how many people were not bronze stars? You know how many silver stars? I'll give you people. See this guy here? Silver Star. Distinguished Service Cross. Second, number 2. Distinguished Service Cross, number 2, next to the Medal of Honor. I got them all over the place. You want that? I'll give them to you. Oh, but they're not on Fox News because Pete's got this. Pete's got that. Okay, fine. Pete was drinking. Whatever. I don't care. And you got this Greg Kelly. He's the one too. What about me? I was a Marine. I was on Fox 5. You were, and they're like little bitchy, snipey, like Mean Girls. And what does it mean? Because it's all a work. And so you've got somebody who's got to come in and be the head of the defense, but you got to stick with it. Mr. President, you got to stick with these people. And first of all, who's doing your vetting? You didn't know about this? Do you know about this? He basically paid some woman off like you did with an NDA. Do you know this is coming up? Are you ready to handle this? Do you grasp this? Yes. What are you going to do? When you put your word, you get up. Don't send J.D. Vance out there. Finally, J.D. Vance is speaking. What's Trump? Trump's silent. You sit there and you say it. I nominated him. That's it. Move on. and you start talking about what you're going to do. Matt Gaetz was like, what happened? I actually almost feel sorry for Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz should never be, he's brilliant. Not the attorney general. No. No. Do you know what you get for the attorney general? You get killers. You get people absolutely 100% true believers, fellow travelers who are going to follow everything that you say. And for Department of Defense, Secretary, you get some guy 6'4" with this and the cut and a Marine and the Bing and he's one of these guys. Yes, sir. Will you say, wow, that's it. Not Pete Higgs. How you doing? I got my little red, white, and blue pocket square. There I am. Well, I stopped drinking. Well, I'm a drinking problem. I stopped. Here's my mommy. My mommy's going to, what is this? You've got central casting. Let me pick it for you. Mr. President, that guy, who is he? Clean as a whistle, married, Christian, the whole bit. But he's an animal. And his men and women love him. And he's a warrior. And he knows what he's doing. He hasn't been on Fox Weekend for 9 years. What are you talking about? It's all fluff. And he's on with Megyn Kelly. Jesus, if I got to tell you this stuff, and it has nothing to do, put Pete Higgs someplace else. Not there. People confuse what I'm saying with what he's doing versus anyway, let me just stop for a second. Now people get so upset with me. Oh my God, because they don't listen to me. They don't even listen to what I'm saying. I want to win this, but I don't know who's telling Trump what to do. When somebody tells me, Trump says, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do. I'm not going to listen to you. I'm Donald Trump. You're not going to tell me what to do. Well, I'm going to tell you what to do. You ready for this? Listen to me carefully. I'm going to tell you something. You're going to go right now to preparewithlionel.com. You know what I just noticed? If you're going to preparewithlionel.com, at the very top of it, you got to go to it, preparewithlionel.com. It says, shop our Black Friday deal. Listen, I don't know, right? But anyway, you click on the Black Friday deal. Oh my God. This is the one. This is a 4-week emergency food supply. Today's price, $187. 4 weeks, 28 days, 2,000 calories a day, 12 essential vitamins and minerals, nutrition, which is a key, 25 years shelf life, 16 varieties of food and drink, lunch, breakfast, dinner, snacks, in heavy-duty 4-layer pouches in water-resistant buckets, free shipping, 187. What? It's right there, right now. Preparewithlionel.com. Not only that, you should see the other stuff. They've got the generators because something's coming. Winter's coming. Problems. Power's down. Drones flying over. I don't know what's happening with that. All I know is something's happening. I'm standing on the mountain. I'm looking at them saying, they're out there. The enemy's out there. I can smell them. The dogs are on alert. I smell them. Preparewithlionel.com. And one more thing. Don't you ever forget mypillow.com. They were with President Trump first. Mike Lindell, mypillow.com. mypillow.com/Lionel. Promo code Lionel. And they've got deals, price buster deals. You can't believe Queens King. The pillows are out of their mind. Look at these price buster deals, Christmas specials. Like you cannot believe. Classic collection sales. mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. Okay, you got it? Okay. That's it. You're smart. You know what to do. Now, when I tell people this, remember, they go absolutely nuts. Oh my God. They go crazy because what they do is they sit around and they say, yeah, but isn't this wonderful? It's like, you're going to lose this. You're going to lose this again. So, okay, Mr. Big Shot Lionel, what do? Listen and listen up. We're going to get to Daniel Penny, and we're going to get to that shooter in a moment because that's a great story. Because that thing is really interesting. Number one, let them eat themselves. Let them cannibalize themselves. You've got Rachel Maddow screaming at this one. You got them going crazy. You've got Carville screaming at this one. You got all these people. Just sit back. Don't say anything. Just wait. Not yet. Rope-a-dope. Let them tire themselves out. You do your thing. You want to have your little patriot give each other a warrant. I don't care. That's nice. But I'm going to make sure you tell Hannity and those other people, okay, because they're the cool kids. See, you don't know this, but when you go to these things, it's the Judge Janines and this one and the Tuckers. They're not meeting with the regular people. Oh, no. Those are the cool kids. And I understand. They don't want to meet with us. I understand it. But you better listen and listen good. I better see some Amish. I better see some black folks. I want to see some gays. I want you to bring... Hell, you're playing the Village People. Not that it's a gay song, mind you. Don't forget the people that brought you to the dance. And you're going to do this because if you listen to these cool people, okay, don't think for 1 minute. Let me explain something to you, okay? I don't want to burst your bubble, but if you look at all these guys making millions of dollars, sitting on the couch doing nothing, they don't want to hang around you. They'll send that poor Lawrence guy out there, who, by the way, who's gotten a lot better. Still got a way to go, but still a lot better. They send him out to some diner. They say, hey, what do you think about this? You know, that's as close as they get. Oh, no. I would absolutely love to be there, and I want to see the Amish there. Okay? I want you to understand who's who. Know how things work. Let me tell you a quick Bill Clinton story. Years ago, there was a politician. I don't want to mention his name because he might not want me to do this, but he's a Republican. And he was taking his daughter to the White House. They would look at the West, and the door opens up, and there's Bill Clinton. And he's there with his daughter. And he says, hey, come on in. And Leon Panetta or somebody said, Mr. President. And he looked at him like, not now. And he says, have a seat. Want to sit behind the desk? But when you're in the White House, Oval Office, you push this button and the camera guy comes on and he's talking. He said, how's your mother doing? That's great. Because remember, Bill Clinton loved to meet people, loved people to love him. And he said, yeah, we got that barbecue, whatever, coming up. He says, is your mother coming? Yeah. Well, you make sure she sits next to me. And he goes, He goes, make sure so-and-so's mother said, and he did. He never forgot anything. Lyndon Johnson. Well, Lyndon Johnson went to that black church with Hurricane, I forget the name of it, in 1965. He said, I'm the president of the United States and I'm here to help. Oh my God. He's with a bunch of black folks and he's hugging them. And oh my God, that's what I want. Norman Rockwell beats, whatever. Not going to Bedminster with a bunch of these Mar-a-Lago people and say, Mark Simone, my friend, does a great one. He says, how are you? There's all these Long Island Yenta types. They go to Mara. How are you? I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to have I got a selfie with Alina Harbor. Who cares? I'm not impressed with anybody. Two people, well, three I've been impressed with. Well, by Newman, Trump, E.O. Wilson, and George Jones. The rest of them, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Mr. President, you sit back and let them attack themselves. You sit back. You don't have to tell them anything. They're not your friends. You make sure you let people know what you're doing. They're planning things. Next, Joe Biden is going to be paying. He's going to be selling pardons like you can't believe. Blanket pardons, partial pardons, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Nothing. He is so out of his mind right now. He's not going to trial. He's through. His cash cow, they cut that off. Burisma, Hunter, he's got nothing. He is this greediest son of a bitch you've ever met. How he's got that Rehoboth, whatever that beach is, he's got 10 mortgages on it. I don't know what he does with the money. Look at this, Raul. Raul, my only benefactor this morning. What will happen if Penny is innocent of charges? What will happen? He walks. We'll get to that in one moment. You understand this? I want you to listen to me. Listen to me. This is critical. This is critical. Don't be one of these people that says, well, I love the president. No, stop it. He works for us. He does these things. He does these things. Do I have to tell you anything? Do you? Seriously. I don't know what happened with Dusty Saddles or Stormy, whatever. I would say to her, if I were President Trump, I'd say, do me a favor. Mr. Trump, President, it was Mr. I guess he was Mr. then. Do me a favor. You want a woman? You call me. I'll take care of this. We'll find somebody who's like a professional or something. If that's what you really need, if you really have to have this. But this is a slut, a 2-bit, low rent, tattooed porn star. I don't want you in the same zip code as this woman. What is the matter with you? That's Trump. John Kennedy did it. All did it. Some people didn't do it. Nixon didn't do it. Jimmy Carter didn't do it. George W. Bush didn't do it. George H.W. might have had one. Al Gore, maybe one. But this guy, he's always the best looking one. It's beautiful. Okay? I love the man, but he needs help. And he needs to be watched. And he needs to be, because he's just, okay, you got that? And before you pick somebody, you let me and my people, we'll go and we'll review them and we'll do a vetting you can't even believe. We will know everything about this person and say, fine, you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Spandex says, I'll do my part to keep the lights on. Thank you, Spandex. Boy, we are just tearing it up today, my friends. But that's okay. It's all right. I understand. Now, let's talk about Daniel Penny. Daniel Penny, I predict Monday's going to be a hung jury. They're not going to make any difference. They might feel like, well, I don't believe at all, especially, and you know those people are reading, they're reading the mail. Don't give me this bullshit about, well, I'm not going to be reading any of the news. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Would you be reading the news if you were a juror? Of course you would. Of course you would. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? They're not sequestered. They don't have to be sequestered. Is there a reasonable doubt? Yes, there is. And this Neely is a dirtbag, low rent. And if I keep hearing this nonsense about, well, he was a Michael Jackson. Who was a Michael Jackson? A performer for an hour 10 years ago. Look, you want to go to Times Square? I'll say there's a Michael Jackson supporter. There's a guy dressed up as a Muppet. There's over here. They got the naked cowboy. Maybe not today. The naked cowboy. It's like 34 degrees right now. But they also had the naked cowgirl. This woman had breasts that hung to the ground. I mean, they were like, it was the saddest thing. She's out there. There were the desnudas, these Central American types who were all painted. They were topless. So Michael Jackson performer, there's this guy's a degenerate. Mrs. Ellen and I were walking the other day to up the street, right up on the avenue. There's this guy who was out of his mind. He goes, hey, this is like and he's got his drink. And he went up to another guy and he went up to his car, basically said, hey, and the guy says, get out of here, man. Leave me alone. See, two people. We came back 45 minutes later. He's still there. Still there. Yash, thank you, my friend. So let's see what happens. Now, you want to talk about the good one? Let's talk about some really good stuff. Remember when I said yesterday, or the day before, I said, you remember, this is about the assassin. I said, if I didn't know better, wait a minute, Brad Rung has something to say. Hang on a minute, stop. Baseball Hall of Famer Johnny Bench, he always has a birthday, thank you. Actor Ellen Burstyn, 92. How can he get off? Would a hung jury have to be a retrial? I love the way you go from Baseball Hall of Famer Johnny Bench, actor Ellen Burstyn. How can he get off? I'm thinking, Ellen Burstyn? And it's a woman. Oh, it's a change. I love this. He doesn't get off. If there's a hung jury, is there a mistrial? Yeah. Do they do it again? If the prosecutor wants. Does Alvin Bragg want this? Alvin Bragg's thinking, you know what? I'm not into this. And this prosecutrix, read the article. Go to my whatever that thing is, X Twitter. Look at the Revolver article. Oh my God, these are like Marxist lunatic crazies. Ladies and gentlemen, Vori C says, Lionel, you are 100% right. Very C, thank you. I am. I'm absolutely right. I'm absolutely right. I'm the guy who would tell you, if I were your father, I'd tell you stuff. And later on, you would say, you know, you were always right. It's like, I'm right. I don't say things just to say it. I don't say things just to say things. I say things because they're true. I don't say things. I don't say things. The other day, recently, the discussion came up. They said, do you recommend college today? And I said, you know what? I don't necessarily know if that's even necessary. I really don't, for a variety of reasons. Not what you think, but I'm not supposed to say that, but it's the truth. 2020, the one they stole. Remember this one? 2020. Now, oh, by the way, next time we're going to be going to DC soon. I'm going to be going to that White House gift shop right there right by the White House. The Treasury is right there. It's beautiful. Oh my God. I'm going to load up with everything. Okay. Now, let me ask you a question. So like I said the other day, I said, don't be surprised if the shooter is from some kind of Antifa-like organization. Do you remember me saying this? Do you remember me saying this? Not Antifa, but Antifa-like or Antifa-light, as it were. Remember that? Okay. Everybody look up the following. Who are and what is the People's Action Institute? Are you seeing that? I'll put it right up here for you. Look at what they have done and the protests they have initiated. And look who these people are. Look who they are. This is very interesting. The People's Action Institute. Look at this right now. Mission: advance a long-term agenda for racial, it's funny how it looks like that. Racial, economic, and gender justice by investing in powerful state and local organizations and campaigns that win real change in people's lives. PAI, it's called. And if you look at this, Conversations Transforming America, Strengthening Medicaid. Okay, this is behind the curtain. The corporate plot to upend democracy, how China threat narratives feed anti-Asian racism. If you had to pick what this is to use the language in the vernacular, a Maoist, communist, red China, whatever it is, China-backed, whatever words work with you, that's what that is. That's what that group is. Nothing wrong with it. That's who they are. You think BLM, Black Lives Matters? Black Lives Matters is the Campfire Girls. Remember the Campfire Girls? Not the Girl Scouts, the Campfire Girls. If you can't get into the Girl Scouts, you went into the Campfire. That's what BLM is. Nothing compared. Antifa, this is legit. Look who these people are. Look who these people are. You understand this? You can use the word Maoist. You can use all these words you want. It's up to you. Look at this. Someone says, our good friend says, shooter caught the Greyhound bus here in Atlanta. Many witnesses of the bus can identify him. I believe he will be caught. FBI can find MAGA January 6th. Yep. Why is there no And that is the issue. And I'm so glad you brought that up, dear friend Yoli Romero. Why doesn't anybody seem to want to find this guy? This is just like October the 7th. Remember this? They said the Mossad is the premier intelligence organization on the planet. They know where everybody is. They know everybody's phone. They can send a pager and put a thing, and there's biometric and the drones. But October the 7th, they had no idea. One of two things: lie hop or completely incompetent. And there's nothing worse than finding out that people are incompetent. It bothers people. It's like you're upset. It's like, what? So the FBI, you're in New York City, home of, we've got every agency here. It is wall-to-wall cameras. FBI, CIA, every intel organization you can imagine. SEC, plus the UN, plus 5 Eyes, 6 Eyes, 10 Eyes. Everybody's here. People who are willing to help you, people who can say, we will use our own. See, what you do is you pick up, for example, you call up Israel or call up France and say, do me a favor. I can't do this, but you can do this. I'm looking for such and such. Okay. Then France says, we'll look for him. I'll give you the information. And we say, we didn't spy. We didn't violate our charter, CIA. We didn't spy on Americans. It was given to us. You know how that works. That's the oldest, the GMCQ, whatever they do in Great Britain. In any event, we don't know. We would have known his name. Whenever there's any kind of a crazy shooter, we know his name, where he's from, what he does, who he is. Something is different right now. Why? Because the online sleuths, the people who are the internet sensations, the people who are involved in looking behind the scenes to some of the best online detectives, they want to have nothing to do with this because he is their hero. Okay? Now, think about this very, very carefully. But before we begin, listen, I'm going to tell you this. We're going to talk about the gun. And the gun is really important. But as we talk about these kind of Gen Zers and these folks, there was an article recently which is fascinating. The Gen Z folk, the people who represent the young people, Gen Z, and others, are absolutely finding themselves in catastrophic debt, the likes of which you cannot believe. And one of the reasons why is because money means nothing to people. You know that hot talk to a girl and the hawk crypto and this one and Ethereum and crypto up and Bitcoin. And the Americans, the government's in debt. We got inflation and too much money. It means nothing to them. So if you wanted to sit down and explain to them or help them, or maybe help yourself if you find yourself up to your neck in debt, where do you go? Listen to this. New reports reveal that the average person has $8,674 in credit card debt. Plus, the total average consumer debt is a shocking $104,215 between mortgages, auto loans, student loans, credit cards, and unsecured loans. Unfortunately, without outside assistance, many will continue digging themselves deeper and deeper into the hole of debt. I've advised and counseled friends and clients for years who want to take back control of individual debt about this secret weapon that has helped so many consolidate everything owed into one affordable monthly payment. They even helped negotiate a settlement agreement that will allow you to pay less than the total balance. Listen, they settled over $275 million in debt, and they've helped people become debt-free in an average of 28 months. I've had such an incredible experience referring clients and friends that I wanted to partner with them here and introduce their services to you, my loyal Lionel Nation family. If you want a helping hand to get out of debt, I absolutely, positively, and strenuously recommend booking a free consultation now by going to nodebtwithlionel.com. Look at the address. Once again, that's nodebtwithlionel.com. Use the link I've provided under the title. Listen to me. You can take control and learn how to get out of debt now. Now let's talk about this particular gun, shall we? I just gave you a link to the X reference that I am going to be referring you to. And it's important that we know this. The B&T Station 6 is a modern homage or homage to the historic covert tools developed during World War II by the British Special Operations Executive, or the SOE. Originating from Station 9, a hub of secretive wartime innovation, the Well-Rod pistol set the standard for clandestine, integrally suppressed firearms. B&T's updated version maintains this legacy while incorporating modern advances. Integrally suppressed design. The Station 6 includes a factory-supplied suppressor with a wiped design. Users can mount their own suppressor. You have 2 caliber options, 9mm and 45 ACP. Quiet, nondescript. Retains the original Well-Rod's stealthy, nondescript appearance, ideal for covert scenarios. The integrally suppressed system produces an extremely quiet sound, used a lot of times in veterinary systems where you want to dispatch. Very, very quiet. A unique rotating bolt action. You have to basically use each one. There's a magazine, but in order to fire it, you have to actually pull back the hammer, so to speak, or the slide. The B&T 6 excels in situations where stealth and compactness are critical, whether for historical appreciation, tactical operations, or range use. And there it is. Now, this is not, costs about between $2,000, $5,000, depending upon where this is. This is not somebody who decided, I'm going to go to a Dick's Sporting Goods and get this. This was a specific design. Specific. And all of the people from Taylor Lorenz to everyone. And remember, including this, remember this group, the PAI, People's Action Institute. They have been protesting these folks. This guy's gotten death threats. All of the other health officials have scrubbed CVS and others. They've scrubbed the names of this. They've taken on a kind of sort of a maybe a Robin Hood kind of version of this. And there are people who make no bones about it. So that's why there's no hope, no help, no nothing. And the amount of help that he's got, this is like anything else. This is at a level. Remember, you thought BLM was like a stage. BLM, and not so much BLM, but Antifa was almost like it was a, for lack of a better word, it was it set the tone, it set the course, it set the stage for this. Okay? Now make sure you also, thank you, SD Colson, make sure you are signing up for the newsletters. There's so much great stuff out there. And I want you to be aware of this. I want you to know this. I've linked the newsletter address at the top of this in the comment section. Sign up for it. I got more to come with it. Oh, loads of this. Because this is what I want to do. I want to make people, I want to provide new ways of thinking as to history, new ways of thinking as of current events, but also new ways of thinking as to, in essence, politics, the way we're going to do this. We have groups of people who are very nice, but they are not. We need the Delta Force, so to speak, for political operatives. We have to understand how things work. And the thing that we have to understand is we are in a brand new world. And that's why somebody who has the spirit, the gumption, the wherewithal, the tenacity of one Matt Gaetz would be terrific, because we have right now groups of people that are infiltrating our society. We haven't seen this since the 60s, since SDS, Bill Ayers, the Weather Underground, those people. We haven't seen the rise of the violent, tactical, organized, radical left, or whatever you want to call it. We've not seen that. You've been using terms like Maoist and communist and socialist, and it's just been an ideology. As some kid with a keffiyeh on a, oh, no. Because irrespective of who's in charge right now, you've got a new group. Now, if there had been 4 more years of Biden, you would have heard absolutely nothing. Because these are, remember, there are people who love the notion of the cause. I can't say that enough. I can't explain that enough. They love the cause. And in the last, it's very important. There was a, if you go to my, let me give you this. This is a list. Let me give you this. This is all of the, when you go and you sign it, you get a list, you get an email campaign archive. And one of them, which is very, very interesting, this is called The Execution of Brian Thompson, Ochlocracy and Dehumanization. And I think I've told you this in the past, and I'm going to tell you again. One of my passions has always been the collective psychology and the way people think. It's not so much straight politics as it is this collective mindset. And when I was a kid, I remember thinking to myself, how is it that people during World War II looked the other way? And we do to an extent. We did in Vietnam. And many, many people in Israel, they don't care what's going on in Gaza. They have no interest in saying, okay, what are you going to do? These are good people. These are good people, but they don't really understand what's going on. And so what happens is you have this wonderful thing, this confluence of modern mob psychology, mobocracy, ochlocracy, and the dangerous power and force of the digital echo chamber scrums. And as news of this spread, the public reaction was either from apathy to outright naked celebration. And it provides a stark example. And I want you to remember this. This is the social psychologist Gustave Le Bon, L-E, and then B-O-N. And the work is The Bible is the Crowd, a study of the popular mind. And what is interesting is it's fascinating. It underscores the dehumanizing effects of this, of the crowd, of the organic part of the crowd. Let me give you this. This is the most important. In the crowd, I love this. And you got to understand how it works too. Le Bon argued that individuals within this thing called the crowd or the mob, or whatever, often they will surrender their individual responsibility, their individual morality, their individual critical thinking to the collective will, to this group, to this new folk who basically because of these weird online algorithms, will allow them to amplify ideas, and they can absolve themselves of responsibility from being in the group themselves as well. It is fascinating. And also sometimes mobs and groups are wonderful. Did you know that sometimes there are people who, in the case of the car that turns over, a woman is trapped under a car. Help, help, I can't get out. And the mob, the crowd, will come out and help them turn the car over. Or sometimes, in the case of, remember the Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, they came out and they grabbed him. Sometimes that can get out of hand too. So mobs, it's not always bad. Sometimes you see this collective action, but there are people right now who are looking at this person. Why don't we know his name? We knew the name. We knew the name of Hani Hanjour, who flew into the Pentagon. Do you remember this? Hani Hanjour, the Pentagon. We knew his name. How do we know his name? Who was flying? Did he announce himself on the microphone? Who knew? Nobody even questions that. But we knew, here's a picture. This is where he's from. This is what he did the night before. We knew everything. And I kept asking, did he announce himself? Was he on the manifest? Okay, there were some people. How do you know who was flying? I don't know. But this guy, we don't know his name. And a lot of people too are thinking, well, listen, if healthcare, they're finding out now that there was an AI program they had used to basically deny virtually all claims. And people are saying, wow, this is going after, these movies, which always presage and portend the future. Denzel Washington, who took somebody hostage because his daughter, I think, needed something. This is so complicated. And it's fascinating. And New York NYPD looks like the Keystone Cops. Oh, we found the backpack. This guy used buses, the bus is the best. You get on those things and you're just, you are spirited off into the night. He stays at a youth hostel. Nobody remembers him. Nobody says, hey, wait a minute. I remember it, that guy. And some people are saying he looked like a woman. Maybe he didn't, whatever. But nobody says, I know exactly who that was. Yeah. I was there. What was this, last week? Yeah, I was there. I know that. That was the guy he talked to here. Or you know what? He gave me his email. Or I remember here's his room and we have DNA. Nothing. Don't know his name. There's not even an APB. Be on the lookout for. But if this was somebody that was, let's say, a white supremacist, we would have known his Facebook profiles, manifestos that he wrote, political parties, how he voted, the fact that he loves Trump. We would have known everything. But we don't know now. So was there a conspiracy among the media to look the other way? Is he an exalted hero? And deep down inside, let me ask you something. Just stop for a second. You don't have to answer this. But if the message is, hey, all you fat cat multi-millionaire, I'm not saying this now, but listen to me carefully. Hey, all you fat cat multi-millionaires out there who screw over poor people who need, and whatever was going to stop anesthesia, boy, they reversed that one real quick. You know what? This is a lesson. Be careful out there, because when you deny medical coverage, this is the death sentence for people. Nobody cared about that. You were so callous. You had your picture up there. Look how much I make. Again, I'm not saying this, but a lot of people are secretly saying, you know what? Sometimes there are people like, if you had, I'm just saying, hypothetically, if you found out Chinese hackers shut down the government, the Internal Revenue Service computers, and no IRS, with the exception of refunds. The IRS was shut down for 6 months. They were frozen. Would you say, hey, we got to get to the bottom of that? They can't do that to us. Why? That's the internal. No, you wouldn't. Of course not. No. Sometimes when the wrong guy gets it, how many times have you said, this person made off with, a gazillion dollars, went to an ATM and got the money by accident, and later on, whatever. Nobody wants to say this. Nobody is saying this, but there is an undercurrent theme of, you know what? Screw them. Nobody feels sorry for a 50-year-old multimillionaire head of a healthcare system who basically they find out we're just going after. And what better way for, if indeed this is Chinese based, as it's been alleged, what better way than to say, I'm going to come in to your country and we're going to show people the face of socialism and Maoism. It actually can help you. Barry Taylor, if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. Indeed, sir. Barry Taylor, ladies and gentlemen. And Taylor Lorenz, this woman is so fascinating. Only in America can Taylor Lorenz, who was this horrible, rancid, termagant, the Hawk Tua girl, she's done. She's so done. Well, the crypto thing, yeah, but I mean, she actually became overnight. We can bring you in and we can bring you out. Step back for a minute. When I tell you to help President Trump, the first thing he has to do is he's got to tell people the healthcare system is shattered. And we have to do, we will get to the bottom of this. Nobody deserves to be executed. But there is jump on this, exploit this. Have a lot of the lefties say, that's our guy. I think I told you this before. One night, it was in 2016. I was in a room I guess a green room with kind of a Wall Streeter classic prototypical paleo conservative and a bona fide commie. Well, he said he wasn't a communist, he was a socialist, but he was a socialist for sure. And a Maoist, not a communist, wasn't a member of the party, but we all knew. And both of them loved Trump. The Wall Streeter for obvious reasons, but the commie loved Trump because Trump was into the working man, helping little people and putting people to work and working on the economy and empowering little people. I thought, this is fantastic. Trump's got to take advantage of this without seeming too callous. He's got to take advantage. I've got to steal the thunder. I've got to jump to the head. And do not go and meet the press. Whoever set him up, fire them. Fire them. What is the matter with you? Meet the what? We don't even know what that word. The following words will not be spoken in this White House. Meet the press. CNN. Nothing. And don't let that Fredo Cuomo slither through here. That sniveling rat bastard. He'll say whatever he has. You don't need a weatherman to know. No, you don't need something to know which way the wind is blowing. These are people. You've got to understand this. And by the same token, Mr. President, please be careful. Fox News, enough with that. That you've already got them. You've already got them. What are you doing? Start going out and have people. I want you to bring people into the White House. I want you to have as your method, your own platform. Joe Rogan got you that election. Joe Rogan was it. Joe Rogan, Dana White, also Elon, work with them. Meet the press. When I heard meet the press, I lost my mind. I thought this son of a gun doesn't understand anything. He's almost 80 years old. He's living in the past. I know people who love newspapers, and that's the way they are, and that's fine. Listen to what I'm saying, my friends. If you want to be a part of the revolution, join us. I'm not here to make people happy. I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here to say things that makes you say, yay. I want to give you the truth. I want to win. I want to destroy these people. I want there to be no Democratic Party. Nothing. Where they consume and cannibalize each other. Defining deviancy down, Senator Moynihan. Well, that's what happened with him when he, as you know, spandex, born in Hell's Kitchen, decided to write that paper, which might have been his ultimate doom. Do you understand? Look at Key for K. Look, bless her heart. Kay says, do they make newspapers? You know where I see a newspaper? In the hood, there's a place to get a shoe shine, and there's another place I like to walk by. There's this kind of a tire center where people just come in for coffee. It's a nice guy, and they have a newspaper there. It's the only time I ever see it. I kind of like newspapers sometimes because you do see some ads or things that you don't normally see. That notwithstanding. All right, my friends, listen, make sure you listen to us. Did you see us on Mrs. L's YouTube? Did you see us? It was one of the best ever. People are still talking about it. It wowed them like you can't. Huh? Wait a minute, hang on a minute. Before we do this. Thank you for reminding me. I want to remind you, here we go. It was also some good stuff about AI, which was so bloody fascinating. It's enough to make your head spin. It is the most fascinating thing there is. I cannot tell you enough. It is. Let me give this ring to it. There we go. Here is the. Make sure you do it, and make sure you. What do I say? What am I saying? What am I saying? What am I saying? Just a minute. Okay, there we go. This is the link right here. Go to it, subscribe, and also February 22nd. I know it's just a couple of months away. Tickets are selling now. We're ready to go. Oh, I'm ready to go. Because remember, we've been with this. You've been with me for 2016 or whatever. I'm in for the long haul. And we're going to win, damn it. Okay, you understand this? Okay. Have a wonderful, 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 wonderful day. The Sunday, look at this. Kathleen Lavinson says the Sunday New York Times is $6. I have not physically looked at. I used to love to get the New York Times. I loved it. In the old days, it was the dining. When on Wednesdays it was Ruth Reichel, and then there was a tech and the book review, and I loved it. It was really great. The magazine and the theater reviews and everything, and then it's done. It's over. Truth is here, my friend. Okay. Pete Byron says AI is the worst it will ever be. No, absolutely not. Not even close. We have no idea the potential because it's unfettered and it's not being watched. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. We will talk later. Don't forget to follow me at, don't forget, make sure you're subscribed, the Lionel Nation and also Lynn's Warriors. And don't forget our sister station, our channel, Lionel Legal. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. Until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you.